Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of News for Normies, where I try to bring you the week's worth of news in a relatively short time frame. If you like what I'm doing here, hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So to start, the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad has been forced out of Syria by rebel forces. This comes after a very long civil war within the country. The government there has essentially collapsed, and since Assad was forced out of the country, military incursions from Israel and the US have begun taking place. Simultaneously, Russian naval vessels in the Mediterranean Sea have been attacked. Definitely seems like we are inching closer to World War III. Drones the size of SUVs were spotted over New Jersey. Some are claiming that they are just planes, which some of them probably are. Others aren't sure what is going on. Some politicians are claiming that they are Iranian drones and have even advocated for them being shot down, including Donald Trump. Now, if they turn out to be enemy drones of some sort, then the military should do so, not the average person. If you are watching this and you see a drone, absolutely do not shoot at it. It is a major felony, and, what comes up must go down. That is physics. Do not do this, especially like Florida man who recently shot at a Walmart drone with a 9mm handgun. He was arrested and charged, as you should be. Don't shoot at anything in the sky, especially with a handgun. It's a felony, and bullets have to come back down at some point, which can hurt or kill people. Nancy Pelosi was rushed to the hospital after falling and breaking a hip. While I do not condone, any hardships to come to people, it is time for her to retire, and kind of had this one coming. She has gotten rich off of the back of the United States taxpayer, and it's time for her to go. Several other old politicians need to go as well, like Mitch McConnell, Chuck Grassley. Thank God Joe Biden got elected out, and he's still in there until January, but I also recognize the counter-argument of that Donald Trump is around the same age, and I will admit that does give me a bit of concern. However, the difference between Trump and the rest of these people is that he is still largely with it. He can, make a coherent sentence and, can still walk upstairs, unlike most of these people. So, moving on. The left is trying to run a smear campaign against Pete Hegseth, who is one of Donald Trump's picks to be, in a federal position within his administration. They're claiming that he is an alcoholic and are trying to tarnish his military career. While it is true that he did not attend West Point Military Academy, he was accepted at one point and has the receipts to prove it because he still has his acceptance letter. Don't blame him. That's a pretty prestigious thing to accomplish. Although he didn't attend, so, I'll give them that one. Also, over 90 men who served under Hegseth's command in the military wrote and signed a letter highly endorsing him for his position within the incoming Trump presidency. So when you have people that have worked for you before that say, hey, this guy's pretty good at what he does, probably a good indication that they are a good pick. So, there you go. A new report from the federal government has officially stated that there actually were 26 confidential human sources from the FBI on the ground at the J6 protest. So it turns out your right-wing conspiracy theorist friends were correct again. Just another example of left-wing hypocrisy. I've heard in the past that, local police departments will infiltrate peaceful protests, begin smashing things up to incite a riot, to then give themselves justification for deploying riot squads. While I am sure that this has happened before, and I do not condone that whatsoever, I don't see how we can use that logic for local police, but not the same logic for federal level agencies. So, that's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. Also, let's not forget that the FBI had 12 of 14 people that were involved with the Governor Whitmer kidnapping scandal. 12 of those 14 people were FBI informants. Also, the FBI was part of the Ruby Ridge and Waco situations back in the 90s. So, again, more evidence as to why the FBI is not your friend. Jeez, I cannot believe that some people still support the FBI. Anyway, moving on. A whistleblower from OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT, was found dead in a mysterious suicide. Apparently, he was supposed to testify about like fair use laws and stuff like that in regards to AI software. So that's a little weird. Again, kind of like the Boeing whistleblowers earlier this year that were supposed to testify against Boeing, they ended up dead from suicide too. Real weird timing. The Biden administration is trying to auction off large sections of the border wall materials by Christmas. This is a clear slap in the face to the American people and a huge middle finger to Donald Trump himself. After this past election, it has come out that over 70% of Americans want tighter border control at our southern and northern borders, by the way, and also support mass deportations for people who are here in the country illegally. So, yeah, when you do this, it is clearly a slap in the face to the people and their wishes of the people whom you claim to represent. By the way, politicians don't actually think that anymore. It has been the case for a long time. They think that they rule you. That is a problem. Okay, moving on. Daniel Penny was found not guilty in the New York trial. Seems like even in areas that are heavily Democrat controlled, common sense is making a comeback. Penny's lawyers are considering a lawsuit against liberal district attorney Alvin Bragg for malicious prosecution because Alvin Bragg clearly targeted Daniel Penny because he was white. What most people don't know is that in this whole case where Daniel Penny subdued Jordan Neely, who was a black man on a New York subway, Daniel Penny was not the only person that was involved with that situation. A second man was involved with helping subdue Jordan Neely on the New York subway, and wouldn't you know it, that man also was a black man by the name of Eric Gonzalez. Where's he been at in this whole thing? He was involved in holding Jordan Neely down too. Nothing about him. Not saying that he is guilty of anything, but there were two dudes holding down the one guy, so why wasn't he involved in this whole case at all? Real weird. Real weird. Finally, a man by the name of Luigi Mangione was arrested on Monday, December 9th, and is suspected to be the murderer of Brian Thompson, who was the CEO of United Healthcare. Apparently, this dude had a manifesto that was leaked online, and from what I have heard, it is full of communist nonsense. Other people speculate that he's not the killer because his eyebrows were different than pictures that were previously released and stuff, but who knows? That's why we have the justice system we do. At least on paper, you are innocent until proven guilty. Like I stated before, I do not wish violence toward anyone, not condoning what happened to this guy, but just some extra information for everybody to digest. Apparently, under Brian Thompson's leadership at United Healthcare, the company went from denying 9% of claims to over 30% of claims, some of those as high as 33% of claims submitted to the insurance company. So as I stated before, not calling on anybody to commit acts of violence or murder, but when you get rich off of ripping people off, stealing their money while people are getting sick and dying, you reap what you sow. Personal example of this past week, I used a teledoc service through my insurance because I've been fighting some kind of head cold thing going around. The teledoc service was free, didn't cost me anything out of pocket through the insurance. But when I went to the pharmacy to pick up my medicine, it would have been $32 if I would have used the insurance, or $21 with the in-store discount card. So why am I paying for insurance if it's more expensive? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that's just one example for trying to get medicine to clear up a head cold. I couldn't imagine trying to go through, pneumonia or cancer or something like that. So, yeah, we'll see how this one plays out, but I find it a little weird that we know, like, everything about this Luigi dude 2 weeks after this happened, but yet 5 months, 6 months after Donald Trump was shot in Pennsylvania, we know nothing about the guy that tried to kill Donald Trump. Little weird. So, hopefully I've covered all the bases this week. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything I missed this week, because, I am not perfect by any means. So, with that being said, I hope you all have a great day, great weekend, and I will catch y'all next time.